In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Nikon Coolshot 80 VR and whether or not it's worth picking up or not. So what I'm going to be covering in this video are my first impressions, how it performed for me, who it's going to be best for, some pros and cons, and also where the best places to buy. So if you just are looking for the best and cheapest place to pick this up, I will leave a link down below, and at the time of this video, that was the best place we could find it, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want to go ahead and do so. But let's start with my first impression. So I was kind of always against having something like this, like a rangefinder or GPS out on the course, but I found myself, I was kind of struggling with distance control, so I would always leave it too short or hit it too long, that kind of thing. And whenever I actually finally got one of these, it definitely helped a lot, and I would never go back to not using one. But basically the Coolshot, so we basically reviewed the Coolshot 20 and also the 80 as well, and the first thing I liked about it was the build quality. Some of the other ones out there we tested, they felt kind of cheap and more like toys. It's something that probably wouldn't last very long, but it was nice to see that this one here seemed to be really well built, and was definitely a lot better than some of the other ones out there. Was it easy to use? Compared to some of the other rangefinders, it wasn't the easiest to get comfortable with. Some of the other ones are easier, I'll definitely admit that, but as long as you sit down with it for a couple hours, it's just like anything else. There's always going to be a learning curve. It took me a little bit of time to fully understand how to navigate it, but after spending a couple hours with it, it wasn't a problem at all. Then the manual was pretty good at explaining things, and after playing with it for a few hours, it wasn't a problem at all, and I was ready to go. So how did it perform? Because that's the main thing. You want to make sure that it actually works. And there were a couple things I liked about the rangefinder, and the first was the quick reading time. Okay, so it actually did lock on in under a second to the targets, which was a lot faster than some of the other ones out there. Some of the other ones out there actually took a few seconds, and if you had a shaky hand, it was pretty hard to lock onto a target, and you'd end up getting the wrong reading, you'd select the wrong club, and then same story over and over again. But this one was under a second, which was awesome, and it made it so much easier. And then plus it was actually accurate compared to the top of the line rangefinders and also on course markers. It was pretty much bang on. It wasn't always perfect. I'd probably say it was within 2 or 3 yards, but even that's pretty darn accurate, and it was just as accurate as other rangefinders out there that cost more money. And the next thing I liked was the vibration reduction, which is the VR in the name, and that basically makes it easier to use if you have shaky hands. And I found that a lot of rangefinders were kind of hard to use because of this, and a lot of people do struggle with this. So this one, it made it a lot easier, even if you had shaky hands. It basically, it reduces the sensitivity of the shakiness, and it's going to lock onto the target, which under a second, which is pretty awesome as well. So the VR technology, most people I've golfed with have somewhat shaky hands when they use a rangefinder, and it makes it really hard to actually lock on and get a true reading. So basically the VR technology tries to reduce the sensitivity and make it a lot easier to get a quick and true reading, and it definitely did do that. And then according to Nikon, it reduces the movement by 80%. I don't know if that's true or whatever, but it definitely did help. And how about the lock on feature? So one of the problems with a lot of rangefinders is that they give you the distance to trees behind the flag and not the distance you need. So basically if you're looking at a flag, sometimes there's things behind it like trees or whatever, and sometimes you actually lock onto that instead of the flag you want. So what'll basically end up happening, you'll pick the wrong club and you'll end up crushing it over the green, and that's not what you want. Okay, so basically what's going to happen now is it's going to lock on the closer target, and it's actually going to show you the lock on sign on the target, so you know it's locked in, and once it locks in on that, then you're pretty much good to go. It's not going to read anything else. And this was one of the features that makes this thing so much easier. Definitely compared to some of the other ones out there, this one was way better in my opinion. As you can see here, sometimes on the left there, sometimes if you don't precisely get on the flag, it'll show 182 yards when the flag is 135 yards, and you're going to crush it way over, and that's kind of why you want to have this. It's going to show the lock on feature, and I definitely did like that. So let's cover some pros. So it has the continuous measurement feature. So basically with some of the rangefinders out there, whenever you basically press the button and you read a target, you can't move it over and then look at the distance something else. You have to actually stop pressing the button, move over, and then press it again. But with this, it's continuous, so you can basically hold the button for 8 seconds, and you can read different targets, and it makes it just a lot easier. It seemed to be really well made compared to the other ones out there, which is awesome. It's rainproof. It's going to help you a lot with distance control. Definitely help me, actually, get the true distance of where I need to hit. And it's one of the quickest reading rangefinders out there, which is awesome. Have some cons, so it's not the easiest rangefinder to use at first. Just like anything, there's going to be a learning curve, and it definitely did take a few hours for me to get comfortable, but after that it wasn't a problem at all. And there are cheaper options out there, but obviously they're not going to be as good, so that's just one thing to note. How about the breakdown? So performance score, I'll give it a 10. I definitely liked it just as much as like the more expensive ones. Price score, I'll give it an 8. Durability score, I'll give it a 10. It's going to be really well made and definitely top of the line. Personal score, I'll give it a 9, which is pretty good. So frequently asked questions, does it have slow mode? So the 80i VR does, and then the 80 VR doesn't. How about the Nikon Coolshot 80 versus the Bushnell 2 V4? I've tested on both of them. Both of them are similar in terms of price and performance. I would say just, obviously I do like them both, probably two of my favorite, but I'd recommend probably go with the Coolshot if you have shaky hands. It gives a little bit quicker readings. And then where's the best, price for the Nikon Coolshot? The cheapest place we could find it is, at the time of this video, was on Amazon, and we will leave a link for that down below. Is it worth it? Overall, if you're looking for a rangefinder that's super accurate, is well built, and gives quick readings, even if you have shaky hands, I would say the Coolshot 80 would be a perfect fit. I definitely liked it a lot more than some of the other ones out there that we tested, and that's why I'm recommending it. And again, the cheapest place we could find it is in the description down below, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want to go ahead and do so. And I'll just mention our golf giveaway here. So if you want to enter into our monthly golf giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, or then comment giveaway down below. Simply do both and you'll be automatically entered. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and we'll see you in the next video.